sometimes.
To make people annoyed, I'll say I got to milk the cobra. That just embarrasses my daughter, but that's why.
Well, to me, that means something else.
Well, yeah, it could.
If I've been drinking beer like this past weekend, right, and we were at an environment where I could piss outside.
Yeah.
I guess I say that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I just looked at my buddy and we're talking and like I couldn't get out of the conversation and finally said, man, I got to rock piss.
Yeah.
Just like, I got to go.
But I feel like with dudes, if we're at the bar and it's us, I'm like, dude, I got to take a piss. If I'm with my wife, like, hey, man, I got to go pee. Even though it's the same thing. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I will say, though, we're talking about kids and parents. So I was going to summer school. I'm like 15, right? So my mom works. So a woman in the neighborhood would run almost like not a daycare, but she would just drive us to summer school.
Yeah.
Because she ran a daycare. I don't know how old her son was, but it was embarrassing for all of us. Because me and my buddy, again, we're 15. So we're kids, but we're not like little kids. And I sit in the car, and the little son just goes, "You have a penis," and just points and touches it. And I'm just like, She's like, "We're going over stuff." Like she seemed embarrassed. The kid did not care.
No, he's got a penis too.
Yeah, he was very proud of it. And he's like, "My mom had." I was like, "Oh God, don't say that."
That's the worst part about that age is, you are teaching your kids about the different parts of their body. And like anything, kids want to show off their knowledge. You know what I mean? Yeah. So grandparents come over like, "Papa, you have a penis." He's like, "I know I do." And "Grandmommy, you have a vagina." She's like, "Cool." And then you get the look. And I'm like, "Look, man, they have identified the genders, and now they want to let you know that they know what you got hidden under your clothes."
And maybe I'm not trying to make fun of our last caller.
What?
Does that seem a little old if the kid can request a breastfeed?
Yeah, probably 3. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but who knows? Look, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Like I said, the kid, he's not double digits, but either way, I'm like, wow. Actually, I asked my mom, I was like, "Was I breastfed?" And she was like, "No, you weren't." I was like, "Thank God." She's like, "Really?" I go, "Just the idea, man, because it's you. That's gross."
Here's a fun one about parents embarrassing you. My dad would pull his arms into his shirt and pretend he had no arms at the McDonald's drive-thru, and he'd hand them the money with his teeth.
All right.
I like it.
So I was never that dad. Mortified. My 3-year-old son dropped his pants while we were in line at a amusement park. Mortified. I asked him, "What are you doing?" His answer, "Mommy, these people need to see my penis."
Yeah, right.
All right.
So proud.
Exactly.
So proud.
What was the awkward or embarrassing moment created by a parent or a child? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Bob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Well, I got 2 quick stories for you. One was my daughter was about 6 years old, and we were in Sydney, Australia, and we went to the beach, and we're walking out there, and she's about 50 feet in front of me, and she turns around and yells as loud as she can, "Dad, there's boobs everywhere."
I know.
Are you like, one step ahead of you, kid?
and then the second story was when she was about 3 years old. And we're down at Green Lake, and she's up on my shoulders, and we're walking around. And when she was younger, she had a hard time handling or being able to say cream of the crop when it came to describing girls, because I would say there's a cream of the crop, and she couldn't say it, so we shortened it to creamer.
God!
No! Yeah!
Man.
No!
Why did you shorten it to that?
No!
It was because it was so innocent. It's like, "Dad, is that a creamer?" "Yeah, she is."
No! No!
God, man.
Okay. So we're walking around Green Lake. She's on my shoulder. This football player is walking towards us with his girlfriend, and he's like the size of a skyscraper. And she leans over right when they get about 4 feet from him and goes, "There's a creamer, Dad." And I'm like, "Oh." And the guy looks at me, and I go, "Can I put my daughter down before you deck me?"
There's a creamer.
Shook his head and kind of smirked a little bit, and off they went. But
wow, yeah, I wouldn't have gone that way. Cream of the crop. I've never really said that as far as the reference of another person.
Not to my child.
No,
you know what I mean. I don't want to.
I'll say whatever comes to the top of mind, but I've never said that.
They might hear like, "Damn," or maybe they can piece together.
Wow, I'm like, I turn into Owen Wilson, like, wow.
Yeah, but there's no description. I remember my kid. We were in Mexico. I think he was like 5 or 6. All right. So one thing on Christmas Day, there's a baseball game. All right, and a buddy of ours gave us tickets. Like, cool, we'll take the kids to the baseball
Mexican
game.
League.
Yeah, and
that's got to be fun on Christmas.
Dude, it was a ton of fun, and the kids ended up on the Jumbotron, which made their universe. I remember my daughter was like, we are famous. I'm like, you're on the Jumbotron, but whatever, right? But they're that happy about it. But when you're walking up to your seats, typical stadiums, you're walking up the ramp, you kind of circling around to find your seats. Well, Mexican baseball teams have cheerleaders. I did not know this. And when you go up each ramp, there's like 5 or 6 there, and they're doing the regular stuff, rubbing the pom-poms together, just greeting people and smiling, right? But their boobs are hanging out. Now, again, my kid's like 5 or 6 years old. So they're doing the thing. And look, they're attractive, whatever. But I'm more just looking forward to the seats, and I realize, as my kid did when he was little, I'm holding his hand, and suddenly he's just dead weight. And I mean, he's like 2 feet in front of this one particular cheerleader, and she has the big smile, right? She doesn't break character. And he's just staring at her boobs. He's not looking at her face.
Yeah.
I don't care about the pom-pom. She's saying whatever she's saying in Spanish, and I'm sure it's all that, hey, little guy, welcome to the game. Did not care. He is laser focused on her big, voluptuous breast. But he won't move, man. So finally, I have to put my arm around his waist and physically lift him and walk away. And when I look at him, his head is turned around. He is just focused on her boobs. And this lady, cheerleader, she just keeps staring at him, same smile, rubbing her pom-poms. And I'm like, I get it, man, but you can't be that obvious. I mean, that's all I told him. I'm like, look, you can't stare. I know why you were staring, which kind of embarrassed him. I said, but don't, man. I said, it makes it weird. And the only other time he's done that, it wasn't boobs. And I've told you this before. The first time you ever saw a dwarf, it's not something that ever crosses my mind. But we're at the grocery store, and it's a full-grown man. He had a mustache, beard, and all that. But the height and head size did not make sense to my child. He could not run. It's about the same age. We're walking through the produce section, man, and again, holding his hand, and there's dead weight. I have no idea why. And I'm not being funny. It took me a second to find the dwarf because he was shorter, and he was on the other side of produce, and he had an apple in his hand. And he's just feeling up the apple the way anyone does, is it ripe kind of thing. But now the dwarf realizes that my son is staring at him with his mouth hanging open. He can't make sense of this, right? So now it gets tense because the dwarf is staring at my son, who's now staring back at the dwarf. And in my mind, this went on for 45 minutes. It probably lasted 15 seconds, but I keep tugging my kid like, dude, come on. But he's not going to stop looking at this. Like, this is an anomaly. So then the dwarf stops looking at my son and now starts mean-mugging me. And I'm like, look, man, I mean, like, you see I'm trying to tug him away. You know why this is happening. Nobody wants to say it, but my kid doesn't know what's going on here. You don't make sense in his mind. So finally, I drag my kid away. And as kids do, once they focus on something, you can walk them anywhere, but they're still looking at the thing. So we're going up the aisle. He's still staring down the aisle at this guy, but the dwarf is still staring back at him. And
it's like a standoff.
But he doesn't look amused. He looks really irritated. So now it's hard for me not to laugh. Like, look, it's not that big of a deal. But I get him around the corner, and I'm like, hey, man, you can't stare at people. And my son cuts me off. He's like, what was that? I was like, look, man, I said, it was a dwarf. He was like, what is that? I'm like, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He's like, sure. I said, okay, well, dwarves are a real thing. I said, that was a full-grown man. He was like, couldn't have been a full-grown man. I'm like, man, listen to me and stop talking.
Full-grown man.
It's a full-grown man. He's a freaking dwarf, all right?
Yeah.
That's it. Don't worry about it. So kind of lets it go. And then, of course, when we get in line, we're about 8 people behind the guy now. But he's up at the register buying his stuff. And he turns around, he sees my son again, and just kind of shakes his head. And I'm like, ah. And I don't know why I was embarrassed. But I was. I'm like, dude, you've got to stop staring at this
Nobody
guy.
wants to make anybody feel uncomfortable.
No, I did not at all.
Once it's established that the dwarf feels uncomfortable, now you feel kind of like, ow.
Look, man, I'm a black dude, and I've been in grocery stores as a little kid. They're like, Mommy, a chocolate man. And the mother was so mortified. We're in the cereal section. And the kid, he points him, and he's happy. He's excited.
Yeah,
like,
chocolate man.
Chocolate man. And the mom's like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. So I just looked at the kid, and I said, I am. And made the kid's day. I'm like, it's not like you dropped the N-bomb. You know what I mean? Like, whoa. Yeah.
I have seen a kid ask, God, it was one of my cousins when they were very little, and asked a black lifeguard if she was sucking her thumb.
You know how to swim?
No. Of course, PG County.
You really a lifeguard?
But she was sucking her thumb, and he just kind of said, like, hey, like, you should be sucking your thumb. Or she was like, you don't. And she goes, if you suck your thumb, is it chocolate? And he just went, yep. Just like keep it moving. So I like, oh my
What was the awkward or embarrassing moment created by a parent or child? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Corey. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi.
Hola.
I was, I think, about 3 in the car with my mom at a red light in Rainier Avenue, summertime, windows down, and I could not pronounce motorcycle. And pointed out the window and hollered at my mom, "Look, Mom, a mama sucker."
Oh. How did that go over?
I do not remember.
But she tells the story.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have kids of your own?
I do.
What were some of the words they struggle with? I've said this before. My daughter cannot pronounce L's very well when she's little. And of all the things, we go to Home Depot to grab whatever we're going to grab, and there is a giant clock in the aisle that they're selling. And my daughter, she's just never seen a clock that big, right? So she just
Talking about how big
again,
it is.
yes. But again, it's a clock without the L. So she's like, "Dad, look at the size of that." And I'm like, "Oh my God," right? Because she's screaming this. And everyone could piece it together, but she kept saying it because she's so excited and kept pointing. "I've never seen a clock that big." I'm like, "Baby, don't worry about it." I almost just wanted to buy it just so she'd shut up. We didn't.
It's yours.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like saying,
You got the biggest clock in Home Depot.
Oh, yeah. It was I've never seen a giant clock at Home Depot. And this one time we go in, I have not seen it since. At one time, she just points and screams it at the top of her lungs. Like,
and look, when I first moved here, and look, at 45, I'll still giggle sometimes, but I'm familiar that Dick sells cheeseburgers.
yes, I know.
My buddy's little daughter, she would just always be like, "But I love Dick's." It's like Dick's Burgers. Burgers. Add burgers.
Oh, I know. When we first got here, "Hey, man, you guys want to grab a bag of Dicks?" And I did not know that was a saying or a thing. I'm like, "Nah, man."
I dumped it.
You go, "Oh, that's right, you did."
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "What is this guy talking about?" And Ben's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, it's a burger joint."
I'm like, oh.
Just like a smart ass comment.
Some of the things that the parents did to embarrass you. My mom would lurk for a few minutes around the milk cooler at the grocery store. When she saw the stock clerk go into the walk-in, she knew the guy behind the dairy display. But she would open the cooler to reach in, grab his arm, and growl at him. And the milkman would always scream, and Mom would cackle while I wandered down the produce aisle in search of a new parent.
Wow.
Here's a new one. My mom has a heart of gold, but she's not the brightest bulb. I'm saying that the nicest way. Every car she ever owned up until that point was a stick shift. Now, she normally drove us to school. One morning, her car would not start. The next door neighbor said, "Hey, you can borrow my car." My mom said, "Hey, thanks for the offer, but I don't know how to drive an automatic." Our question, what was the awkward or embarrassing moment created by a parent or a child? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Tony. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, LARP on.
Harp on.
The story is I'm on my dad's shoulders at the Sonics championship parade back in the 70s. I've probably never seen a black person before, and I lean over to the little girl on her dad's shoulders and I say, "I like your tan."
I mean, that's a decent compliment.
I mean, did she say thank you or just give you the look?
I don't. That was it. My dad was just like, "Oh, geez,"
Yeah.
I can't believe so.
Well, to be fair, in the 70s in Seattle, the only black people were on the
What
Sonics.
year was that? Was it 70?
That was 78, probably
78?
like 2.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, man, you got it.
I mean, that's tough.
I mean, my family had a friend that we were close with, and my dad and him hung out all the time. And their kids, living down in South King County, North Pierce County, out in the sticks, there's not a whole lot of black people that are out there.
Oh, you can name check it. Eat 'em, Claw.
No, this was Buckley.
All right. Oh,
This was
that's the
Buckley.
difference.
No, in Buckley, Wilkinson area, right, all the way out there.
All right, well, yeah.
The mountain people out there. Not a
Well, 78 was a big year for that because the Seahawks, the Sonics.
fair call. But this family friend, his kids, same kind, similar deal. They had never seen a black person in their life, and much like your son, they were in the grocery store one time. Then that was their first encounter.
Chocolate man.
And they were a little bit too old to not have realized this, but they still looked at their dad like, "Dad, is that one of those burn victims?"
Oh, God. Wow. Jesus.
No, son. Some people, they just.
Wow, man.
So, yeah, that was, and they were just a little bit on the old side to think that.
How old do you think they were when they
I think they were closer to double digits than they were to 0.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
God damn, man.
I've done the opposite. One of Taryn's friends, first time I met her, like we're chilling, we're having drinks. At some point, I go, you know me, kind of awkward. But I'm like, oh, you must be ethnic of some type. And she just kind of like puts her hands in her face, and she's like, no, I'm not. I got too much of a spray tan.
Oh,
I was like, are you serious? She was like, yeah. I'm like,
oh, my bad.
well, they put it on heavy.
I had a woman
You look Hispanic.
I had a black woman in Florida ask me if I was from Alaska. I said, where are you from? You are white. I'm like, dude, I'm down here. It's the wintertime there. We don't get any sun. She's like, yeah, but man, you are white.
Damn,
You're in Alaska? She's like, is it really that dark in Seattle? I was like, yes.
I blatantly lied to Miami. Everybody thought my buddy was Dominican. So I was like, I don't speak Spanish, but I'm clearly Cuban.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the awkward or embarrassing moment created by a parent or a child? 206-803-ROCK.